Hello everybody, welcome to Analyze Our Games Part 32. I've played this game 2 weeks ago, I think, and it was a very instructive game, very interesting one, full of tactics, full of missed opportunities. So let me show it to you. My opponent played e4, c5, knight f3, g6. This is called Hyper Accelerated Dragon. I've started to play this defense with some good results, and I still have a lot to learn, and so we have to play it. d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight c6, bishop e3, bishop g7. So here's the first moment to learn something. Better is to play knight f6, because then I attack my opponent's pawn on e4, and then my opponent has to play knight c3, and then I play bishop g7. Yeah. Then it transposes to a very common dragon. Yeah. But yeah, I played bishop g7 first, and then my opponent played c4. So this is the Maroczy bind. Knight f6, knight c3. See, now my opponent played the knight to c3, and his pawn is on c4. d6. There's a very interesting variation here. It's knight g4, then queen takes, knight takes on d4, queen d1, knight e6, rook c1, b6, and it's black's okay here, white is a little bit better. Okay, but we didn't play that, it was d6. And then my opponent played f6, f3, so this is a common move here. Also possible is bishop e2, then castles, bishop d7, queen d2, knight takes on d4, bishop takes, bishop c6, f3, protecting the e4 pawn, knight d7, trying to exchange the bishops. Bishops are exchanged, king takes, b3, protecting the pawn on c4, and queen d6 check. And white again is a little bit better. But okay, after f3, then I was thinking about waiting some time, so that's why I played a6. Yeah, but it's possible to castle here. Yeah, no problem. And bishop e2 is a possibility. So after a6, my opponent played bishop e2. Then I developed my queen c7. It's a good post for the queen. It's also possible to take on d4 at this moment, and bishop takes. But yeah, it transposes. So after queen d2, then I took on d4. Bishop takes, castles long. Oh, alia jacta est. The dice are cast. Yeah, so my opponent's gonna attack my king on this side of the board. I'm gonna attack his king on this side of the board. Yeah, so this is a crucial moment. So we call it opposite castles. Yeah. Okay, also possible is to play b3 and wait a little bit more, but my opponent castled long. Okay, good. Then I played this, bishop e6. It's my first move that makes some kind of attack, and as you can see, I'm attacking 2 times this pawn on c4, so he has to defend it, or as what he did here, he played knight d5. Then I took with the knight, yeah, thinking about exchanging the bishops on g7, but the computer suggests bishop takes d5, he takes d5, b5, king b1, and rook, queen b7. So I'm gonna try to attack this side of the board. My opponent is gonna attack this side of the board. Yeah. So after taking on d5, my opponent took with the pawn, of course. It's also possible. There are some crazy variations here after bishop taking on g7. Then knight b4, bishop takes. There are some tactical things here. Bishop takes, Then queen takes on b4, bishop takes on e2 check, queen interposes, queen takes queen, b takes c3, bishop takes e1, bishop takes e7, bishop a4, and finally bishop takes d6, and I think it's a kind of a draw position here. Yeah, there are some good sides and bad sides on this position. Okay, after e takes d5, better would have been to take on d4. Yeah, bishop takes, queen takes, and bishop d7. Then we got an equal position. But I prefer to move my bishop to d7. The computer says it's not a good idea, because then my opponent took on g7, I retook it, h4, see, now my opponent is gonna attack here. I'm gonna try to attack his king, so it's a mutual king attack. b5, so yeah, it's logical. The computer suggests h5, trying to stop white's attack, but yeah, there's just g4 anyway, but there's nothing to be fear about, yeah, because rook h8, and then there's their check here, f6, some positions that were very similar to what happened during the game, and then rook d4. White's a little bit better, but yeah, there are some good prospects for black too. So after b5, my opponent checked on d4. Yeah, it's also possible to attack my king with h5. There are some interesting variations here, but yeah, there are some crazy ones. For example, g4. Also, there's a very crazy variation here that takes on h6, then h takes on g6, there's check, and king f6. So you think, man, this is very dangerous. Black is gonna be mated here. But yeah, according to the computer, no. I don't know if humans are able to play such difficult positions, but there's g4, then rook h8, g5 check, king f5. So man, for humans this is kinda suicidal. King g7, queen g7. Then fortunately black is able to do some attacks too. King b1, rook takes on h1, and there's this thing here, because if white retakes here, then it's not good. Yeah, because there are some defense here. The king goes, and black's gonna win. So it's not possible to take. White has to take on f7 check. Yeah, then there are some checks here, crazy things, and other check on e7. Then it's gonna probably be a draw, because of the queen is able to go back to defend the king. Queen e3 check, queen f4, and queen e7 check, queen f6, and this is a draw by repetition. It's not possible to take on d7 because of this check, and bishop takes, and then this check, and the queens have to be exchanged, and then black wins. Of course, it's not possible either to take on f6 because of king takes, rook takes on h1, and rook e8, and black is better. So it's a very long variation, but of course we didn't see this during the game because we were short on time and it was a rapid game, and we are not that good at calculating yet, unfortunately. So after queen d4 check, I have two options. or I play f6, or I play king g8. Both are okay. Maybe king g8 is more safe. Yeah, it's a little bit safer. But also after f6 it's okay, because I can put my rook on h8. So that's why I played f6. g4, of course, my opponent has to attack my king. I took on b4, g5. See, now my opponent is attacking this pawn 2 times, the queen and the pawn. But yeah, so far so good. I played bishop f6, f5. I like this move, and according to Stockfish, this is the best move of the position. So I'm proud of this move. Okay, also possible is to play c3, but yeah, then I thought about this. My attack would not be so strong. I don't know. Maybe I would win. I don't know. But then I played bishop f5. My opponent took on c4. Then it's good, because yeah, now his bishop is aligned with his, so he can't move the bishop now. It's a pity that I can't attack this bishop with a pawn. But the computer suggests e5. e5 is a good move. Of course, black can't take en passant here, because then I would probably win immediately after, yeah, because it's pinned. So he can't move the bishop, yeah, because of the king. So he would have to play something like this, and then d5, and I would win the bishop. Yes, so black would win here. But yeah, when he took on c4, then I played this move, and it's not a good move. It just leads to an equal position. Yeah, much better would have been to play e5, and then c3. Queen c3 would probably be the best option, and then I would try to put some pressure on this bishop. Yeah, or maybe move my queen to some safer place and try to get some attack on these 2 files, open, semi-open files. Yeah, we don't know what would happen. So after rook fc8, yeah, my opponent defended with b3. That's logical. And then I played a5. This is the best move here. My opponent played a4. This is the best move here. And I played rook a b8. It's a very good move. Yeah. Now my rooks, my heavy pieces are aligned against his king. Yeah, there should be something winning here. Then my opponent played this move, rook h e8, and it's a blunder. It's not good. Yeah, much better would have been to play king to d2, yeah, to escape this pin here, and maybe exchange some pieces here would be okay. Yeah, to get some drawish positions, equal positions. Yeah, if my opponent exchanged the queen, would be okay. Yeah, his bishop is not so good. It's like a good pawn. Yeah, my pawn here wouldn't be so good, so it's an equal position. Okay, but after my opponent blundered here, I played a very interesting game, a tactical one. I took on b3. Yes, and I remember at this moment I had like 1 minute on my clock. So that was the cause of this blundering away the game. Yeah, very sad. So my opponent played the best move here, king d2. Then I took on c4. Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, but it's a little bit dangerous. if not played correctly, following a correct plan, a correct game. So when I played queen c4, queen takes c4, I calculated something like this, the rook taking on e7, on e7, but then I would play king g8, then no problem. The problem is the what happened next. For example, this check, I didn't see this check. I calculated and I stopped here, and this is sometimes a problem, and especially something to learn from this game. We have to calculate, and we have to continue to calculate probably one or two moves more into the variation to see if it's okay or not okay. Because if you stop the calculation in the middle of the critical moment, you may lose the game. That was what happened here. So here, instead of taking on c4, it would probably be much better to play rook b4, because then my opponent's queen would be pinned. My opponent wouldn't be able to take on e7, and I would probably win this bishop. Let's suppose my opponent played g takes f6 check, then I would retake it. My opponent would try to defend. I could take on c4 immediately, like this. No problem. My opponent would probably have to retake, and we would exchange a lot of pieces here. I don't know if check here, then something like king h6 probably. And anytime my opponent exchanged the pieces, the heavy pieces, I would win. No question about it. What about this? Is a nice move. King f7 is a nice move. Then my opponent would try to defend. In any case, he moves the bishop. I can take on c1, because I can take on d4 first with a check. So yes. So after rook e3, then take on c4, queen takes, rook takes, and rook takes, and I'm a piece up and totally winning. But I think this rook queen takes on c4 was kinda dangerous, not easy to play when you don't have a lot of time to calculate, or enough time to calculate. So even taking on e7 is possible, because when this pawn disappears, then the f6 is available with the queen to check. So that was kinda dangerous. So after my opponent took on e7, check, then I moved here, and as I told you before, this was the move that I didn't expect, and my opponent played it very quickly. So okay, then here lies the theme of the game, and I couldn't see that. When he checked me on e8, I just thought about my queen being unprotected. So I thought, man, if I take here, he's gonna take here, and it's a problem. It's not a problem. Why? Because my rook is the owner of the e-file. And after rook b2 check, my opponent has two options, or to play king c3, and it would follow check, and I would retake the queen with a check. Yeah, as you can see, I'm winning. Yeah, my opponent can take on f6, no problem. My opponent can play rook e1, no problem. Yeah, it would be okay. Yeah, I would be winning here. And in case my opponent played something like this, king c1, then I would double here. It's a mate threat, because next I can play here and it's mate. What else? My opponent would try something desperate like this, but it's not desperate. It's good for white if I take on d3, because this is drawing. Yeah, then white would take here. The mate threat is over, and then probably take on g5 or do something. It would be like draw. Yeah. The rooks are on the 7th, but yeah, I can't do many things here unless my opponent makes a mistake. Yes. So this was my mistake when I played king f7. Then my opponent had a check here, and problems start here. I took, okay, the best, and this was the problem. Yeah, rook e1 check. That was the killing. I can't do anything. I can't stop. I can't run with my king. Yeah, because if I play, for example, here, it's mate e1. Yeah, where's the mate? Checkmate. Yeah, so not good. And I had some seconds here. I calculated, but yeah, the seconds that I spent calculating this variation, this moment, if I had spent calculating the previous position around here, for example, yeah, to take on e8, then I would have won this game. But yeah, something to be learned. So after rook e1 check, I had to interpose the bishop, put it here to avoid checkmate e1. My opponent took, of course. I took with the queen. Sad, very sad. See the importance of this pawn on f3? So my opponent took on e4. Then my last bluff was to play rook c3, because yeah, in case my opponent does something stupid or something, yeah, not the best, or try to check, and I can hide my king, then I would be able to get a draw. But my opponent was very fast. He took on c3. Very good. The computer says that that playing queen e6 check is better. Yeah, because my pawns will disappear. Yeah, but usually human beings are, yeah, we calculate in a different way. So my opponent played queen takes c3. I took. My opponent took. Yeah, now we have an end game, and this is unfortunately losing for black. So king d7, king c4, king c7, bishop, king b3, b5, king b7, king takes on a5, king a7, and king b5. And here I resign because there's no way. Yeah, it's impossible to impede this pawn marching forward and the king going to d6 and taking it. Yeah, so this was the game. Yeah, I think it was a very nice game, well played. Yeah, it's a pity that I couldn't find the right moves when the critical moment showed up. Yeah, it was, yeah, the critical moment was on move on move 24, yeah, when I took with the queen, yeah, as I have showed the variation. Yeah, it was winning for black, but it was necessary to calculate the sacrifice of the the pseudo sacrifice of the queen, yeah, because then I would retake it. Okay, thank you very much. I hope this game was instructive to you as it was for me. Let's keep learning, let's keep practicing. Thank you very much. Take care.